MTDCNC, bringing you the latest engineering news via video media.
Roger, big decision to make. Which way are you leaning as an individual?
As an individual, I'm leaning to keep in.
Okay, and what's the reason behind that?
I think it's what I see on a day-to-day basis. Being in manufacturing and engineering, I feel that the benefits that we get as a country are very much one-sided in terms of what happens for the industry itself. So the benefits are for large companies and small OEMs, and we have a mixture of those within our membership. So I feel that's where my influence is coming from.
The clue's in the name, Tom, Subcon Laser Cutting. You are a UK subcontract manufacturer. What's your thoughts on the EU referendum?
The EU referendum, I believe, it's a real difficult one for manufacturing, certainly if you're involved in manufacturing, because there is so much nonsense being spread by the Remain camp, the Exit camp, and it's tough, certainly for manufacturers, to get an even view on what's best to do.
Michael, Bowyer Engineering, you've been in existence for over 70 years. Can you tell me your view of opting out of Europe or staying in?
I'm very much in favour of staying inside Europe. The stability that is offered with the current trading relations we have in Europe and other parts of the world, I think the uncertainty that would be thrown at us if we decide to get out of Europe are going to set us back a long way. And so definitely stay in Europe.
Ray, RDL Technology, it's a large term part manufacturer. It's the EU referendum coming up in June. How are you going to vote? Why? And how is it going to affect RDL Technology?
From RDL's perspective, Joe, I personally will be voting to stay into the EU. I feel that it's the best thing for industry. Obviously, it's the best thing for RDL, for us to be one European community, and it just makes trading easier.
We've been in a long time now. I think there are certain things that perhaps we could have done and should have done, and I think we should be at times a little harder on the people that run Brussels. I'm disappointed sometimes in what we go out to try and do and what we come back with.
What would you see as a negative if we were to leave?
From a negative point of view, I believe we are vulnerable to not short term, but longer term in investment, because we don't have our own industry anymore. Years ago, when we had the steel manufacturers, the shipbuilding, the car manufacturers, coal, we owned our own industry. Because we now, our industry is predominantly owned by foreign manufacturers, we are very, very vulnerable.
Simon, you've been involved in the manufacturing sector, machine tools, for many years. You've been the president of the MTA. Obviously, with the European referendum coming up on the 23rd of June, could you tell me your view and how this may affect if you opted in or opted out?
Mark, the European Union question is on everybody's tongue at the moment. From a personal point of view, I hope that we vote to remain within the EU, as I think in our particular sector of manufacturing, everybody's heavily involved in exporting to Europe and also importing from Europe. I think the supply chains are well managed within the European Union, and I think if you also look at a lot of our customers' components, such as the aerospace components and the oil and gas components, they're manufactured across Europe in many different countries, and they get assembled in other parts of Europe. So there's a complete supply chain set up within the European Union, and it works. And if it works, why change it?
Ryan, CJ Engineering, yourself as a partner in the company, would you vote in or out?
Out.
And the reason?
I think the country's well and good enough to support itself. I don't think we need any other influence. I think we're more than sustainable. I just think all round it'd be better for us.
Simon, shortly, it's the important referendum. Can I ask if you're in or out?
I'm definitely in.
And why is that?
I think we would cope on our own fine, but basically to encourage and make things easier within the squirrel groups that are available within Europe, it makes things easier and part of the big club. So for me, I'm definitely in.
Ben, BW Precision, Brexit, in or out?
Well, do we truly know what we get for staying in or getting out? So maybe bet the devil we know, stay in.
The other side of things is the people who are not in our industry or perhaps even in work. There's a different approach, a totally different approach. They're very much concentrating on the day-to-day, how will it affect me personally. I'm not being arrogant by saying we're looking at a bigger picture.
I don't believe the EU as a bloc would welcome the fact that UK would be out. So I think they would be driving a total renegotiation package. For the rest of the world, it's a grey area.
And do you think it'll help your business?
It could well definitely helps us. We have a multicultural bunch of staff here at Chang'an, which is right near the business park, where we do prototyping for China manufacturer as a car OEM.
But don't we deal with China anyway, even if we weren't in the EU?
Sure we would, yeah we would, but particularly for the UK facilities, we've got a lot of people from Europe who come in. We have very specialist skills that we need to go within Europe. We can't get them in the UK.
I'm not a great believer that if we vote to come out, things will change dramatically. You know, we still need immigration and we still need flows of people leaving the country and coming into the country. We're very fortunate in the UK at the moment because we have very low unemployment, and so therefore if we're going to expand our manufacturing base, we need new people and we need exciting engineers from overseas as well as our own homegrown engineers.
We currently are employing recently people from Poland, people from Spain, because we were struggling as a company to find the skill base that these people already come with and brought to our company. So we employed them because they had the skills, they had the technical knowledge that wasn't in the UK that we could find in trying to fill technical positions.
In all of this, Tom, it's a difficult decision.
Hugely. It causes sleepless nights, I think.